Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today I have the next installment of my color series Redux, and I believe we're on gray, so we're almost done. Next, I guess, will be white, and then I will do toppers, and then we will have gone through the whole thing again. And this is just kind of to compare to last time that I did this, which was like 3 years ago, and to see how my tastes have changed, stayed the same, what has like kind of gone in and out of my collection, things like that. So if you're interested, stay tuned because I have my top 10 gray polishes in my collection that like I personally enjoy. Last time I only had 5 on my list. This year I'm just gonna do the full 10 because last time I had combined like black, white, and gray in the same video, but my collection has grown exponentially since then, so I figured each color would get its own dedicated video. And these are in no particular order, just kind of, I wrote them down on a list as they came to me in my head. So let's start out with Essie's Chinchilly. This is just like a tried and true, like obsessed with it, especially around like fall time nowadays. I used to wear it year round. I've become a seasonal wearer as I feel like it's like YouTube influence, but like I've just become more of a seasonal wearer, and Chinchilly just has this kind of like cozy, warm, like cashmere sweater type of color to me. I don't know what a cashmere sweater looks like, to be honest with you, but it just seems like it would be like a cozy, soft kind of garment. I know for a fact I've influenced a lot of people to pick up this polish. So many people have told me like I bought this because of you. This is the only polish in my entire collection that I have fully used up and repurchased, and I used up the old one, which had like the crappy little skinny Essie brush, and now I have like the new nicer paddle brush. But this is one that I think it looks good on everyone. It kind of goes with everything because it's a neutral color. It is just a cream. I guess maybe some people would call this a taupe. I don't entirely know like the difference between taupe and gray, and then I don't know, is it like a gray with like a little bit of brown lean in it? I'm not sure, but I really like Essie's Chinchilly, and I like the name too. I think it's really cute. I had a friend in college who had a chinchilla, and it does remind me of a chinchilla, and now I just want to touch a chinchilla because they're so soft. The next one on my list is probably the only one that everyone's going to fight about with me in the comments, and this is Great Lakes Lacquer. Would you like pigeon milk in that? Or it's you want pigeon milk in that. And it's like kind of greenish blue, but I feel like it's gray. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I categorize it as gray. And it's got like a really intense, like sunset-y kind of shimmer. And this one is, of course, an Animal Crossing reference. It references Brewster. He is the pigeon who runs the coffee shop in the game. And everyone kind of finds it questionable, like, where's he getting the pigeon milk that he's putting in the coffee? A little weird. But this is just a really, like the shimmer color over the base, like it just looks really nice. It's really, like, to me, it's a standout in my collection. I mean, Great Lakes Lacquer does really good shimmers anyways, but that being paired with an Animal Crossing reference, you've sucked me in. I love Animal Crossing. I have ever since I was in 6th grade and I got the first game for the GameCube. Then we have Cirque's Dove Jelly, and I like this one because it's so weird. I know this is not going to be one for everyone. It is a very sheer, kind of like barely there tint, but it is gray. It kind of has a milky quality to it, which is a little weird to say about nail polish and not something everybody would want, but I feel like this would be good if you wanted to layer some stuff or use it in some kind of nail art. And I feel like this would probably look best on shorter nails than what I have in this picture because the visible nail line is very real with this one. But that doesn't usually bother me. It depends on the polish, but for this one in particular, I kind of knew what I was getting in for. And Cirque, they do some really interesting jelly colors. They're not all these like punchy, bright, in-your-face type of jellies, which I think is what is more common, especially with mainstream brands. They do a lot more subdued or grungier or like even pastelier type of jellies that not many other brands on the market are doing, and that's why I really like the Cirque jellies. Next is Bee's Knees Lacquer, You Are My Monster, and I think this polish kind of marks the turning point for me of when I became like really obsessed with shimmers, because before, to me, like shimmers were kind of just as boring as creams. I was just like, They're a dime a dozen. But then this one really showed me, I was like, wait, shimmers can be really, really fun, really, really striking, really, really in your face if they're done right. And this one is kind of like the same base color as Chinchilly, which I think is what drew me to it. And then it has this really, really powerful, like almost neon purple shimmer just blasting from your nails. And you know, like with some shimmers, you can only see it from a certain angle. This one is not like that. It's like no matter where you're looking, you can see the base and the shimmer playing really well together. And I really like neons paired with neutrals. I think it looks really fun and it helps the neon to pop more, which is why I really like the shimmer in this one. Next is one from the Orly Breathable line, and I like this one for its versatility. This is power packed, and it's like a really, really light gray. Not one that I necessarily wear on its own, but I've used it for stamping nail arts a few times, and it works really, really well because sometimes you don't want such a stark white base. You want it to be a little bit more subdued. And stamping like black or colors on white makes them pop really, really hard, which is great for certain designs, but sometimes you just want something a little more chill. And I got the idea to try out Power Pack because it's not off-white, but it's not like too dark of a gray either. It's kind of this like weird in-between middling point. And I feel like it worked really, really well for the nail art. And it didn't make, like, cause sometimes like with the white, it just makes me feel like my hands are a beacon. It's funny because I can wear neons and crazy colors all day long, but as soon as I wear white, I'm like, oh my God, my hands are so obvious. I don't know. So this one's a little bit more of like a, you want a white, but you don't want to commit that hard. This is Zombie Claw's Ghoulish Guests Welcome, and I mean this with all the love in my heart, but it kind of reminds me of like an ashtray. It's gray with these solid black flakies running through it. They're kind of smaller and there's a lot of them, so it does kind of break it up. It almost looks like a TV static kind of a flaky. I feel like it's a good polish for around Halloween time. I think I might put this one on my Halloween rack. That video will be coming soon. But yeah, I really, really like Zombie Claw. And I think I got this one from a polish pickup. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I really, really want that. I love black flakes in a polish. For some reason, some people really hate it. But for me, I really like the stark contrast between like the black flakes and whatever the base color is. I think it's really fun. It's got kind of a speckled look to it, kind of a gravelly look to it. And this one, while I doubt you'd be able to find this outside of a thieves stash, it would be an easy look to recreate if you just have like a smaller black flaky top coat. Just put it over your favorite gray and there you go. Next is Sinful Colors Cookies and Cream. This one, it checks a lot of boxes for me because it's like, one, it's scented, two, it's food themed, like three, it's gray, which is one of my favorite polish colors. And I think it does straight up look like the cookies and cream ice cream. I think they did a really good job. It smells really like sugary sweet. So if you're sensitive to scents, wouldn't recommend. But if you like that kind of stuff, this one's really fun. I feel like this one also kind of looks like it could be, it looks a little bit dirtier on your nails if you don't like maintain it. Like, so like, if you get a chip, you might want to just take it off because there's some polish colors that once they start chipping, they just look kind of like grungy or dirty. And I find it's usually any polish that incorporates like black in them. So this is one where as soon as it chips, like it's coming off my nails. But until then, I'm really enjoying it. And people are probably staring at me because I'm every so often being like, does it still smell like cookies? You know, it's a weird, you don't want to make eye contact with somebody when they're doing that. It's scary. Next, we have Bee's Knees Lacquer again, and this is I'm Making Waffles. This is from a Shrek-themed box that I bought, and this one is like a much lighter gray, like donkey gray, because gotta have my Shrek. I'm wearing a Shrek shirt right now. You can't really see it, but you can tell from the green that it's Shrek. But yeah, so it was this, and then there was a pink from some, was it Cupcake? I think it was like a duo. I don't know, it's been so long. But this one has like green metallic flakes running through it. And it almost looks kind of eerie. I think this would also be a good like Halloween time polish. I feel like I'm more drawn to wearing this one in the spring though, because of like the lighter nature of the gray. But still, it is kind of got like this spooky, creepy vibe with those metallic flakes flashing through it. And they are prominent. Like, I feel like they blend well with the polish, but they still pop, if you get what I'm saying. And it kind of looks like a mossy rock. I like to associate stuff with other stuff. I don't know, but it has that kind of like mossy rock, like very nature feel to it. Number 9 on my list is ILNP's Tombstone. This is another like super duper light gray. And then it has these like absolutely itty bitty rose gold flakies running through it. And they add kind of this depth and like visual texture without adding like any physical texture, of course, because they're so small. But then I feel like it's hard to see that there's those flakes in it from far away, but it still gives the polish something. And this polish, I kind of associate, it's like, to me, it feels a little more high class because of the colors. So I feel like this would be a good one to wear to like nice events or like a nice New Year's Eve or Christmas party or something like that. Not that I go to nice events or anything like that, but if I did, I would probably grab this one. And then the last polish on my list is Zoya's Tove, and this is one of their satin polishes. So Zoya has like a satin top coat, I believe, as well. I'm pretty sure I have it, but they also have just polishes that dry down to a satin finish, which is like not as stark as matte. So it kind of almost looks like if you ever worn a matte polish for a few days and it gets kind of like oily and it kind of looks softer like a crushed velvet, that's what these kind of look like on the nail when they dry down. The only thing I don't like about them is because you have to wait for the polish to dry. Like you can't rely on a quick dry top coat because it'll turn it glossy if you want that satin finish, and it takes forever to dry. So it's like you'll wait forever and ever and ever. Then you'll go to bed and you'll wake up and there's like sheet imprints in them. But if you paint them early enough in the day and you're careful enough, then you get this really, really fun, soft, kind of unique look on the nail. And so I really like the Zoya satin finishes, even though they are a pain to wait for them to dry. And then for comparison, the 5 that I had on my list the last go around, like 3-ish years ago, maybe 2 years, most of them were actually the same, surprisingly. And I don't look at this because I've totally forgotten what I put on my list before, but I don't look at this before I make my list. I look at it after, just so I'm not like influencing myself with myself. But the first one on my list was Bee's Lacquer's You Are My Monster, which was on the list this time. I had Zoya Tove, which, again, Cirque's Dove Jelly. I had, this one I didn't have on the list. And this was Live Love Polish's Enchanted Mist. And this is now a Mooncat. And I don't know if it's, because it was available from Mooncat for a time. I'm not sure if it still is. I'll check and then pop up on the screen if it's been discontinued. And then last but not least, I of course had Chinchilly, because Chinchilly will probably always be a staple. It's like, when I think of Essie, I immediately think of Chinchilly. It's just like they're like paired. I mean, I know it's an Essie polish, but it's like the first Essie polish I always think of when I think of Essie. So what did you guys think of my list? Let me know if you have any interesting grays, because these are all the grays I have. I feel like my gray swatch ring is decidedly lacking, despite the fact that I do really enjoy wearing grays. I just feel like with some of the more neutral colored polishes, people just don't make as many. They don't do as much fun stuff with them because, I don't know, I guess it's like a gray is a gray is a gray, just to a lot of people. Just like white is white and, you know, all that. I just feel like it's harder to find as interesting of like gray and black polishes because maybe they're harder to do fun stuff with. I'm not sure. But let me know if you know any cool or funky or weird gray polishes down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.